Greetings, demons, and welcome to Collecticorps, where today we're going to be looking at the Blokees Wheels line of Transformers model kits, I suppose. And these are an interesting case because these are not your typical, model kits for turning into, larger scale models. These are actually in scale with your typical Hot Wheels and other diecast cars. So I'm very interested in actually seeing what these like. I've got a few comparison pieces just for size. This isn't going to be a full review of the entire series or anything, or the entire collection. I'm only going to be opening one for this video, and we're going to be just comparing it to some other, as I say, example vehicles, all of which are Optimus Prime for me. So, hopefully we pick out Optimus Prime just because it'll be a fun comparison to make, but honestly, I'll be very happy no matter which ones I open. So I've picked out a box, and I do quite like how they all have this kind of shipping container sort of design to them with the little Autobot symbol and everything on them. I quite like it. You get a picture of Optimus, you get a picture of it's Hot Rod. At least in my head, this is Hot Rod. It does call it Rodimus. Obviously Rodimus Prime has like the Winnebago alt mode, so it's a bit weird to call this Rodimus, but still. And then you get a full selection of all the different possible cars you can get. So yeah, there's a lot of good ones in here. There's some that I don't care as much about, but yeah, genuinely, I love myself some diecast. I love myself some, small scale cars. So very much excited to get this open. So yeah, let's do it. And there we go, so we've got it open. We do have a bag inside and a collector card, which I think will spoil us on which one it is. So we'll look at that in just a second. Let's see which one we've got. This actually is definitely a model kit, but the parts are actually bigger than I expected them to be, especially for the size of the item. Ooh, I see a bit yellow. Is this Swindle? Oh, I love Swindle. Oh no, I'm dropping pieces. I'm dropping pieces. Okay, let's adjust the camera a little bit. So, yeah, it does appear we, in fact, have the Combaticon Swindle. Oh, yes, I love Swindle. I love the Combaticons in general, but Swindle is a personal favourite in terms of the individuals. Obviously, Bruticus is cool enough himself, but I may have to... I do have a regular Blokees Defender series car mode to show, but I do actually own Swindle, so I may actually have to grab that one as well. But in any case, we do have our diecast piece, which is the main frame of the vehicle. And I think everything else, yeah, everything else appears to just be standard plastic, but not really a complaint there. Very nice. So let's get this built, and yeah, I guess we'll figure it out from there. Okay, so here we are with the finished model, and this is absolutely lovely for just a little model kit of making a car. I really like this. I already love the design for Swindle in general, so I can't really complain about, a very legit little model of his vehicle mode. But yeah, you do have all the little details for the Decepticon insignia. You got the printing for the translucent purple, which is very nice. Windshield there, you got the big gun on top, which I'm not actually sure on this connection point. I think this might actually be completely compatible with Blokees Defender class. I was going to call it Galaxy. I keep wanting to call Defender class Galaxy, but yeah, I think if you really wanted to, you could probably give this to a Defender guy. I might try that out in a bit, but yeah, you've even got the spare tire on the back and everything. Very nice. Wheels move really well, and yeah, in general, just a very good design. But yeah, let's just get on to the actual comparisons between this and other similar-sized cars. And I guess we may as well start with Blokees versus Blokees. So this is the Defender version of Swindle. This is obviously the one you'll be able to build Bruticus with once you actually get the Bruticus connector kit thing, which I don't have currently, but I do have all of the Combaticons currently. Yeah, the size isn't actually that far off. Obviously, these wheels are definitely bigger, and that's going to get confusing. When I say wheels, I'm generally going to be talking about the line of wheels. It's a very odd name, in my opinion, but I guess, then again, I'm about to talk about Hot Wheels, which is essentially the same things with a descriptor at the start of it. But either way, yeah, when it comes to the two Blokees lines that are in this vague sort of scale, yeah, they are pretty comparable. I don't think you would go wrong by mixing and matching between them. It's like, if we just go quickly grab... a random Defender figure for scale. So here's Megatron. Stand up, please. I don't think this is that far off from like actual scale. Like, I feel like in some ways the Defender vehicles are actually a little small. But yeah, I think generally this matches pretty well with that sort of scale. So if you are a Defender collector like I am, Wheels actually could be a really nice addition to that for some nicer quality looking vehicles. And yeah, overall, very much enjoying that. And just to give context for what we're about to look at, here he is next to Optimus Prime from Defender version. Yeah, definitely much bigger, but also Optimus in general in his vehicle mode is a bit small in Defender series, so we'll get into exact comparisons with actual more in-scale brands in a second. And I suppose it only makes sense to start with the one that is currently on shelves, that being the Hot Wheels. I don't remember what the actual line name for these is anymore. Is it supposed to be like Screen Time, maybe? Is it Screen Time? I'm not sure. Either way, is the current slate of Transformers. There's Optimus, there's Ultra Magnus, and then there's both Goldbug and regular Bumblebee. But either way, this is probably your most common point of comparison here. You got, a diecast car and the diecast car company. So, yeah, overall, I think Optimus still ends up looking a little small here, which is kind of surprising because, for the most part, compared to a lot of other Hot Wheels, this Optimus is actually a pretty big car. So I do wonder how well Wheels are going to actually scale with most other brands. Obviously, in terms of the actual width and everything, they are pretty much identical. They'll work with tracks. They'll work with any little playsets or displays that you currently have for Hot Wheels or Matchbox or anything like that. It will work. But yeah, I'm not completely sold on the actual scaling here, though. Let's be honest, has Hot Wheels ever been truly correct scale between different vehicles? Not really. We can probably live with this, but yeah, in terms of what you probably already have, being the Hot Wheel releases that are currently available, came out last year, this is probably as good as you're getting. So yeah, not bad, not great in terms of the actual scale comparison, but I do quite like how it looks together, and yeah, the colours definitely work together. I really like the specific, almost like metallic gleam that Swindle has here, and obviously Hot Wheels in general, the metallic parts at least, always have that sort of shiny finish. So overall, looks pretty good. I will say though, not having actual metallic wheels kind of upsets it. Also, just to show the underside. Yeah, it is pretty plain on the wheels, but it's also pretty plain on a lot of the, well, I think every brand except for one that we're going to look at in a second. They're all pretty plain at the bottom. So, yeah, overall, the Hot Wheels comparison is pretty good. But switching over from diecast to just small-scale Transformers, we have the Legends class. I think it's the Bumblebee movie version of Optimus. If not, it's one of the later movies. It's definitely Bayverse, either way. But this is a real Transformer, you can tell by the fact that the back of him is legs. And once again, it's not terrible scaling, it definitely works. And, in the sense that Legends class always kind of fit into that sort of Hot Wheels size class, I don't think this is that bad. I think this actually makes a lot of sense. If you are wanting just a nicer version, this is your alternators or your masterpiece for small scale Transformers, just as this is your deluxe class equivalent or whatever. They're not perfect scale, but if you are wanting just a bunch of cars and what you have currently is a bunch of Legends figures, this isn't too bad at all. I don't really mind it. You also benefit from the fact that Legends class figures, or what's the other name for them? I can't remember off the top of my head, but yeah, the smaller scale that doesn't exist anymore of Transformers don't really have any of that premium paintwork or anything like that. So the fact that the wheels aren't painted, they're just silver plastic and stuff, it doesn't stand out as badly compared to actual diecast vehicles, which tend to have better paint applications and stuff, which we'll get into some of the even better ones in a second. But yeah, overall, once again, I don't really hate this. And just because I know some people will probably ask if I don't show it, here is Optimus transformed next to Swindle. Yeah, the scale's actually fine. The scale's completely fine, though I do think this ends up being a little bit too big, but I'm also way too used to Blokees Defender size for, small scale stuff at this point, so maybe I'm just a bit swayed, but, yeah, I don't mind this. I think this works pretty well. Once again, if you are, someone who only collects Legends for whatever reason, these are not bad. These will fill in gaps. You might not have a swindle. You can get this swindle and it'll work pretty well. And I suppose sticking with the Bayverse theming, we do have the RPM Optimus, obviously also based on some of the earlier movies. I think specifically this is Dark of the Moon. There's 2 releases, one for Revenge of the Fallen, one for Dark of the Moon. I can never remember which one this one is, but either way, yeah, these look excellent together. I already love RPMs in general. Also, the reason that it's an RPM, not just a normal diecast car, is that it has the actual character underneath it. Not the biggest deal, but yeah, I like this a lot. I think the colors go really well together. Like, these almost look like they are part of the same line. It is actually kind of crazy how much these match together. And yeah, as someone who has almost all the RPMs, I'm missing like 2 of them. This goes really well for me. I really, really like this comparison here. Like, in terms of the actual colors, the matchup, like, the sizing is once again a little bit off, but that's pretty standard for diecast, it appears, at least, based on what we've just looked at. So, I don't really mind this. I think this is actually really nice. Oh boy, I am really being swayed into potentially displaying RPMs again. I haven't for a while. I love my RPMs, but they have just lived in a bag for a while. I may have to bring some more of them out to go alongside some wheels, because I have RPMs that don't exist in wheels currently. Oh boy, this could be really fun to display together. I think if you are someone who has RPMs or any of the other Hasbro lines that are released around the movies, I think this might be a good chance to throw in a little bit of G1 goodness next to it. This is really nice. Like, as I say, I am already a huge fan of RPMs. This makes me actually enjoy RPMs even more, like seeing them next to wheels. The fact that I could potentially be adding wheels to the RPM collection rather than, filtering in some RPMs into wheels is, like, really fun to me. Oh boy, I like this a lot. Yeah, in terms of overall scaling, like, they're not far off from each other, but it's like clearly Optimus should be bigger than this. But, like, that's not necessarily either RPM or Wheels' fault. Yeah, no, I like this a hell of a lot. This is very good. And finally, for our little swindle versus Optimus Prime that we've done here, we have Dickies Toys, I believe it is. Animated Optimus Prime once again. You get the little Optimus Prime face. Not a full Optimus like we saw with RPMs, but yeah, I believe these actually came out after the... I'm actually not sure. Wait, sorry. I said animated. These are RID. I stand corrected. That is my fault. But yeah, if you are wanting, like, close scale matching, I don't think you're far off here as well. Like, you get the fun little touches, like, having the insignia on the front of Swindle here compared to having the insignia on the wheels of Optimus here is just very, very fun. Yeah, everything kind of matches up here. If you are someone who has these, which there's only like 7 of them, I think, in the full range, you might want to have some, because, like, let's be honest, the animated style matches way more with G1 than anyone really wants to admit. Hence why Legacy keeps doing animated stuff and RID stuff and whatever else. Yeah, I really like this. I feel like I'm going to repeat myself with a lot of this. It's like the scale's a little bit off, but, everything seems to be a little bit off. This one's the closest we're going to get, realistically, because this Optimus is pretty tall and, a bit stocky, but, like, overall, like, scale-wise, these two are not far off. Swindle probably shouldn't be this tall, but, like, I don't think there's really any complaints you could make about the sizing here. I think these look really good together, and, like, just... imagining them facing off, imagining them fighting, or whatever else. Oh, I really like this. Yeah, no, that is great. So, just to round it all out, here's everything we've just looked at, minus Blokees Swindle, which I'll just drop there. It doesn't really matter in terms of the scaling for Blokees Swindle, but, yeah, no, this is honestly really good. I knew I was going to enjoy Blokees Wheels, because I like my model cars, I like my diecast cars, but I'm actually really shocked at how well they kind of just fit into the existing collection. I think, in general, we can kind of get rid of modern Hot Wheels, we can kind of get rid of, debate Legends, but we'll get rid of Legends, and we'll get rid of Defender class. If you are an RPM or Dickie Toys collector, I think you may really want to get these. I think, like, these two works so well with the overall aesthetic of Blokees Wheels. I really think this works, and like I know it's a bit of a moot point because I'm not comparing an Optimus Prime to Optimus Prime here. I unfortunately only own one other swindle other than this one. Two swindles. I don't own any more that are like diecast scale. So like, yeah, unfortunately, this is the best you're getting from me. But I am absolutely smitten with this, and I can't wait to open the rest of them. And yeah, I think that is where we're gonna leave it. I quickly do want to look at the card here. So it's pretty basic. It is just an instruction card. You see a lot of these for like Defender class, and I think even Galaxy has instructions that are like this on a little card there. But yeah, it just shows the character, shows, you know, some potential features and stuff, shows the name, which I do have the Chinese release rather than the European release, but it is what it is. Insignia for the side that they're on. And yeah, I don't love the instructions. I had this issue when it came to the Batmobiles for the Blokees Batman Defender version. They're a bit awkward to read. Like, even, like, you know, even on the camera right now, these are a little blurry, right? And it's not just because of the camera. It's not just because of, you know, my hands shaking or anything like that. Like, these are just a little blurry. It's a little hard to make out what's going on sometimes. And yeah, I was originally going to build it on camera. I started building it on camera, and I just couldn't figure it out. I couldn't put it together. This is a really simple model. I couldn't quite get it together on camera. Like, it doesn't help that I have to have the camera between me and the actual build, but yeah, it is a little bit of a concern that it's like the instructions themselves aren't the clearest, but overall, like, it's a simple little thing. It's not too complicated, you know, it's not a Gundam or anything like that, but yeah, I absolutely love this thing. This is great. I'm so happy I actually picked these up, because for a while I was debating just not getting them at all. I've put that wheel on backwards. I'll have to fix that. That's a shame. I guess I can swap it with the back one. It doesn't really matter. But yeah, I was very much debating just not getting Blokees Wheels, but I am so happy, and the fact it would start with Swindle, such a good one, such an aesthetic choice as well. Like, this is one of the most nice looking G1 vehicle modes, and the fact it belongs to a Decepticon of all things. Like, just, oh, I love Swindle. I love Swindle. I love the big dumb gun on the back, and yeah, I really like, from this at least, the entire line of Blokees Wheels. But that is going to be it for this video. So with that all being said, yeah, there's not really anything else to really go over. This has been really fun. I really like Blokees, and I've been trying to, you know, ease my way into making content again so that I can do a much bigger video on Blokees Defender version, which I have put a poll on the channel. I'm either going to do a full review of the 2026 yearbook, which is really cool. I have it. I haven't touched it yet. I haven't opened it, but I'm very excited too. Or I can do an overview of all of the Defender series Transformers. That's from Series 1 or version 1 all the way to version 6. I have all of them. I'm technically missing like 1 or 2 characters there just because, you know, I haven't got lucky in all aspects. But yeah, I am very excited to do more content around Blokees, and I hope that you are excited to watch it. But with that being said, it's going to be it from me. So I hope you enjoyed the video. Make sure to like it, subscribe if you're new to it, and ring the bell so you never miss upload. Otherwise, a couple of your thoughts and feelings about Blokees Wheels, and I'll see you next time. Bye!